Hey ladies, welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about how to be magnetically charismatic, the art of the feminine allure, how to draw people in and be unforgettable. So being charismatic is not about being loud. It is about being undeniably felt. It is the art of presence and being warm and confident, all wrapped in authenticity. It is a testament of your feminine elegance and presence. The first way to be magnetically charismatic is to have speech ambience. And I use the word ambience purposely because it ties perfectly into what we are discussing with this particular point. So with speech ambience, this means speaking poetically, speaking with imagery, speaking in a way that draws people in. And you do this by using metaphors and using your speech to paint an image, using descriptive words as you describe what you're speaking about, and just drawing people in, making them feel what you're speaking about, making them experience what you are describing with the words that you are selecting to use and describe as you speak and present yourself and speak about what you're delivering. So with this, an example I can give is, let's say you're talking to a friend or the man that you're dating asks you, well, what did you have for lunch? And a typical response would be, I had a sandwich for lunch, just something simple and cold like that. But what I mean about speaking poetically, you could give a response like, lunch was pure comfort. I had a sandwich that had grilled chicken seasoned with garlic and herbs. The lettuce was so crisp, the tomatoes were so juicy, the bread was crunchy yet soft, and I sat on a bench near a water fountain and the sounds of the water was pure bliss to my ears, and I felt the warmth of the sun hit my skin as I ate my sandwich and I slowly enjoyed every bite. And that's an example of speech ambience because you're speaking poetically, you're drawing a picture. It's not a simple short response, but you're making somebody feel what you experienced. You're bringing them into the reality of what you had, and that draws people in because they're so captivated by what you are speaking about and what you're describing. And another example that I can give is, let's say somebody asks you how your day at work was, and you could respond with ambient speech by saying something like, today moved like a gentle rhythm. My schedule worked perfectly. Emails, meeting, calls, all worked out like clockwork and without much effort. It was a peaceful, calm, and productive day. I effortlessly completed each task in record time. I felt so happy and accomplished today. And that response draws people in more than saying something like, work was fun, work was okay, I had a bad day at work, or just something cold like that where it doesn't encourage much conversation. It doesn't draw the person in. The response does not draw the person in. So try to speak poetically. Just try to paint a picture and give a visual of the beautiful experience that you had. And these are just two examples I can give, but this is with anything and everything in your life. And another thing I want to mention is charisma also includes reading the room and being able to read people's emotions and people's energy. So if you're speaking to somebody that does not necessarily have the time for you to give a long descriptive response, you could give a short descriptive response, because when you are holding people hostage with a story or you're holding people hostage with a long response, that does not work, and it does the opposite of charisma, and we are not doing that. We are being magnetically charismatic. This means we read the room, we read people's energy, and when it is appropriate to give a long descriptive response because this person has the time to hear, they want to hear what we have to say, then you give it that way. But the point that I want to make is you don't have to give a long response. Your descriptive response could still be short. It could still be direct and to the point, but it could be full of ambience. It could paint a picture. It doesn't have to be short and abrupt like I had a sandwich for lunch or work was okay. So add ambience to your speech, and that will make you magnetically charismatic. And then another way is to speak slower. Speech ambience means you're speaking slower, you're speaking softly, you are being intentional with the words that you are choosing. And that's why I started with the first example of being poetic when you're speaking, because when you're giving a descriptive picture or when you're painting a picture with your words, you will not rush through it because you want people to experience what you're talking about. So you will present it in a calm and softer and slower tone, and not so slow that people get sleepy and over what you're trying to say, but you're just speaking slower and more femininely because you're presenting your response descriptively, and you yourself, you're enjoying what you're saying. As you are speaking poetically, you are reliving that moment. So you wouldn't want to rush through a moment that was beautiful, a moment that you are taking time to describe and speak about. So naturally, when you are speaking ambiently, you will naturally speak slowly. You will naturally lower your tone. And I love this because if you're someone who does not naturally speak slower or softly, you are not performing, but it just naturally happens because of what you're saying, the way you are saying, the words that you're using, and it automatically makes you speak that way. And also with speaking slower, this means you have the opportunity to express yourself through your facial expression. Because if you're speaking of something beautiful, you're smiling, your eyes are wider, your face looks so excited, you're smiling as you speak. So that naturally draws people in because of what your facial expressions are doing and how you're presenting through your facial expressions, as well as with your hand gestures. If you're speaking about something, you can use your feminine gestures and just say the warmth of the sun on my skin, just something like that. Just using your gestures where it's appropriate, using them appropriately, using them softly, because when you're using too much hand gestures, that also becomes a distraction and that takes away from your charisma. So use your hand gestures where appropriate, use them intentionally, and that will add to the speech ambience. And then another way to use speech ambience is to add humor into your conversation. And adding humor means you're telling stories where people are enjoying the conversation. If it's something funny, you include that funny moment in your story, and people are laughing, people are enjoying themselves, people are enjoying the conversation because it's a fun conversation. But I do want to say, if you're someone that's not naturally funny, you don't have to force yourself to tell a joke. Humor as part of your speech ambience also means that you're able to receive humor from other people. This means if somebody is telling a joke, you're smiling and you're laughing, just having the feminine quality of receiving. So you're receiving the joke, you're receiving the humor that this person is presenting and bringing to you and bringing to this conversation, and you're engaging with that. You're laughing, you're smiling, you actually look interested in the joke rather than having a face of that was cheesy, that was corny, or just something that makes them feel awkward that they told something cheesy. But you just receive it, you laugh, you make them feel good that they are at least putting in effort to make you happy by saying this joke and adding something funny to the conversation. So remember, on the point of humor, it is not only about trying to be funny and being inauthentic if that's something that you are not, but it relates to your feminine quality of receiving jokes, receiving a good conversation, and engaging with the humor that this person is bringing into the conversation. And then another way to add to your speech ambience is to tell good stories. So telling good stories goes two ways. One is through your experience in life. This means you live a life that is rich and full, and you have something to say, you have something to add because of what you experience in your life. Your life is full of joy and amazing experiences, and you're sharing those experiences with people. And as you're speaking about these experiences, it goes back to what we spoke of earlier. You are being descriptive. Your face is lighting up because you're reliving that moment and you're making people feel that exact way. They are living that moment with you as you were describing and speaking. And you do this by engaging in a lot of things. So having several hobbies, and hobbies of different variety, not just hobbies in one thing. So let's say, for example, fashion, because I love fashion. If all I do is hobbies related to clothes, fashion magazines, modeling, my conversation will be full of fashion and what's trending right now and all these things that if somebody that is not interested in fashion would be completely bored. But if you include variety, and this means your experiences include fashion, it includes horse riding, tennis, cooking, traveling, reading books, whatever it may be, just something that is variety so that whoever is in front of you, you have something to add that would not stop the conversation or make it awkward because you only have one thing to bring to the conversation. So spread your wings wide, experience a variety of what life has to offer, and that will expand your conversation because you have a lot to bring, you have a lot to contribute, and you have a lot to share. And then the other way that you become somebody with good conversation is through wisdom. So this means expanding your mind and not just reading about one thing. So this again, I'll use the example of fashion. If all you read is celebrity gossip, what's trending in magazines, that's all you will talk about and that's all your wisdom is. But if you expand your mind, so let's say you have wisdom on businesses because you're creating a business, you have a business, you have wisdom in your career field, you have wisdom in what you're experiencing, you have life experience, life wisdom to bring to the conversation. That is something of quality, and that will add to the quality of conversation that you are bringing when you are speaking to somebody. So always remember that we trust people with experience. So the more experience that you have, the more trusting you will be when you're speaking to people because you've lived that, you've experienced it. And sometimes you experience it through a book. Sometimes you experience it by watching a documentary and being informed that way. But you're speaking because you have this actual knowledge and not just something that you're pulling out of the air to make conversation. People are able to pick that up and it will not work out for you in the end. And the next point that I wanted to add on speech ambience is to upgrade small talk. And a lot of people dread small talk, and it's because a lot of times it's based on two topics, weather or traffic, and it's usually on the negative end of those things. People are usually complaining about being stuck in traffic, or complaining about the rain, complaining about too much heat, or just saying it's a nice day. And that again goes back to the first point where it's not even descriptive. It's just a sentence and okay, it is a nice day. But upgrade the small talk. So this means change the topic. If somebody starts talking about how they got stuck in traffic, you could say something like, oh, it was an opportunity to see how beautiful the trees are. So let's say it's the fall and the trees are changing color. And you could say like, did you see how beautiful the trees are? It was a moment to take time and just enjoy nature. Or I was stuck in traffic and I had the opportunity to listen to this podcast and was very informative. It was about this, that, the other, but you're changing the topic, you're upgrading the topic. And rather than talking about something that's predictable, weather, traffic, or something negative, talk about something beautiful that you experienced for the day. Wherever you are, make small talk that makes you charismatic. If you're standing in line, rather than sitting with your arms crossed, looking irritated and frustrated because the line is not moving, if the person in front of you or behind you seems open to having a conversation with you, start small talk, and on the positive end, talk about something beautiful that will change the atmosphere, something that will bring positivity to everybody waiting in line. And that'll make you charismatic because good energy is received, and you could potentially make somebody's day because you are talking about something beautiful, you're talking about something positive and something good, and that will make you charismatic. The next time that somebody goes to that cafe, let's say they're standing in line and that's where you had this amazing conversation with somebody, the next time they go in there, they are secretly hoping you are there because you left a lasting impression, because you were unforgettable. And this is what charisma is all about. And this is what being magnetic is all about. You are unforgettable and people are craving more of you. The second way to be charismatic is to be magnetically authentic. And this means no people pleasing. You are prioritizing yourself. You are honoring yourself, your morals, your values, and you are standing firm on your beliefs, your standards, and your boundaries. And that is so attractive because when you're not easily moved, when you're not easily swayed, it builds trust, and trust is charismatic. Think of somebody that you do not trust because they are going wherever the wind blows. They're constantly changing their mind. They make you feel unsafe. They make you feel like you can't trust them because they're with you today, the next day they're not, depending on whatever changed or whatever convinced them. So being authentic makes you charismatic. People know what to expect from you, and they don't have to question that will change at any time. Have a gentle authority about where you stand and be firm on those beliefs. Be firm on your boundaries, be firm on your standards, and do not be easily moved. People will respect you, and that is charismatic when you're walking around with an air of respect for yourself and you're receiving the same from other people. I have a video on how to communicate your boundaries with softness. I'll link it below. Watch that. I give so many examples in it. But with this point, if you're somebody that struggles with saying no, or you're still people pleasing, practice saying no with kindness. And instead of just giving an abrupt no or feeling the need to over-explain, getting overwhelmed because you have to say no with kindness, and that'll make you feel better. Because I know I had people-pleasing tendencies, and I would always feel bad because I had to say no and I had to over-explain, and that would make me exhausted. So take care of yourself by honoring your truth, and your truth is you are a kind person and you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. That is so beautiful, and you honor that by saying no with kindness. That way you're not hurting somebody's feelings or leaving the conversation with awkwardness and unnecessary bitterness. So you could say something like, thank you for thinking about me, but I won't be able to at this time. And another way that I've learned to say no with kindness is to kind of redirect the conversation. So if somebody is presenting something and I don't necessarily want to say no that way, I'll say no by providing a suggestion, and I'll say something like, well, what do you think about this approach? That way they are being considered, their input is still being heard, and the person is not getting a no by just hearing the words no. And I do want to say though, there are some people who you just have to say no to just like that. And that's because some people just don't receive hints well. Some people don't receive the redirection well. Some people just are so pushy in what they're requesting of you, and sometimes you just have to say no and be firm with that no. And saying no can be done when you've tried the kind approach a few times. You've tried the kind approach with this particular person several times and they're just not receiving it. That is when it's time to just say no with a no, because you've already been kind. At that point, you've done as much as you can, and saying no is okay. Take the guilt out of you living authentically. You do not have to prove anything to anybody. You do not owe anybody anything. And being magnetically authentic also means living in your truth regardless of how others feel. So if you're being invited to something that you just don't want to, your body, your soul, everything is just saying, I would rather be home tonight. Be authentic, honor how you feel, and don't say yes just because you're worried of what the outcome will be. If you're saying yes to things that you don't agree with, you're saying yes to things you don't want to do, that energy will go with you and you won't have a good time. The people that you're trying to impress won't have a good time because they can sense that energy. They can sense that you don't want to be there, and there's nothing worse than being with somebody who does not want to be there energetically, physically, in their speech, in how they're acting, behaving. It just takes the charisma out of the moment. It takes the charisma out of you, and it's just draining to live that way. So if you're somebody that has a habit of, instead of being honest and authentic, you would rather tell lies to get out of something, it's so draining because you constantly have to think of the lie. You have to deliver the lie, which will leave you not feeling good, first of all, because you're lying. You won't feel good about it. And then you have to always remember that lie. And if you get that habit of lying, you have to continuously lie. And you don't want that reputation. When you have the reputation of somebody that lies a lot, no matter how small lies add up. It takes away from your charisma. It does not add. As we mentioned in the video, people with charisma are people that we trust. So don't ruin your charisma and your reputation by telling lies, by telling little lies that add up. Think of somebody who tells you a little lie, or somebody that has told you a little lie in the past, and you're just sitting there thinking, why did you even have to do that? Like, you could have just told me how you really felt and I would have been okay. I would have accepted it. I would have received it. That's the same way that somebody feels when you're telling a white lie, and it's like, you could have just told me, I would have been understanding. So when you're living in your honesty, it not only helps you, but it helps your relationship and it helps your reputation. And I wanted to make the statement, which we've heard before, if you stand for nothing, you will fall for everything. And this is why I'm saying be authentic to who you are, because when you stand in your authenticity, you will not fall for whatever comes in front of you at any time, going with the wind, going wherever the wind blows, changing your mind every day, every time, needing to tell lies, needing to people please. Stand in who you are, and when you do, you will not fall for everything. So remember that saying. I wanted to include it because it is a beautiful saying and it's a truth saying. So the next thing that I wanted to add on being magnetically authentic is to embrace your uniqueness. Remember that your uniqueness is what people will remember about you, and it's what people love about you. So if there's something about you that's making you uncomfortable or that you don't like, I'll give an example on beauty. Think of how beauty standards are always changing and how people have been celebrated because of their uniqueness. An example I can give is the model Winnie Harlow, and she became famous and popular because of her vitiligo, and that's something that people started to accept and people started to embrace, and it became beautiful because she accepted her uniqueness. And another example I can give is there was a model that had a gap tooth, and she became so popular at some point, and then having a gap tooth became accepted and embraced by the fashion industry and by society. And then things such as the dark skin movement, the natural hair movement, those were things that were not considered beautiful at some point, but it's those things that make people unique that are now being embraced and celebrated. So do not be so rushed to hate the things that make you unique. Embrace them, accept them, because you never know, one day that could be the thing that's trending and the thing that society has accepted fully, and you will be so proud and happy that you didn't change this thing about yourself, but rather you're benefiting from this unique trait and quality that is yours. So I wanted to give this example because I wanted to express the importance of accepting your uniqueness, celebrating your uniqueness, and the fact that what makes you unique is what people will remember. One that was personal for me was I hated my accent, and I always tried to hide it. I tried to cover it. And one day I realized my accent is what makes me memorable. My accent is what makes me stand out of the crowd, because people remember the girl with the accent, and some people love my accent. And the moment I accepted and embraced it, I felt so comfortable speaking. I was so happy to even speak, and I felt so good because I wasn't suppressing things I wanted to say, because at the time when I was hating my accent, I didn't want to speak. But I'm just proud of it. I want to share this uniqueness with the world. And when I'm accepting my uniqueness, I feel like I'm inspiring somebody else that may be not accepting their accent at the moment. And I'm inspiring them, and they're saying, this girl with the accent, she's talking, she's proud of it. Why am I not proud that my accent makes me unique? It makes me stand out, and it makes me memorable. So these are just some examples I wanted to provide on uniqueness and the importance of embracing, accepting, and celebrating what makes you unique. It makes you charismatic. It draws people in because you're not just like the other person we've seen. You're not just like the other thing we've experienced. This is new. This is different. This is magnetic. And when you carry yourself with that energy, the world will mirror that energy back to you, and people will love what makes you unique as much as you do. The third way to be magnetically charismatic is to have intellectual and emotional depth. And this means have something that you're passionate about. Follow your passions, follow your dreams, and that will make you so charismatic when you're living in your authentic passions, when you're living in your truth, when you're living your dream life, when you're living your dream hobbies. You're experiencing something that was on your vision board, and something that you've desired is now your reality or close to being your reality. When you are working towards your passion, that in itself will make you magnetic. And then when that passion is in the moment, in the present, you're actually living it, it will make you 10 times more charismatic. So follow your passions. Think of when you're speaking to somebody that's passionate about what they're speaking about, think of the energy they carry, how they speak about it, how they describe it, how they don't want to stop talking about it. It's so engaging, and if it's something that you share a similar passion, you will be talking for hours with this person. So when you're living a life that you are passionate about, that is how people will experience you. People will be so engaged and so drawn to you because you have this positive energy, you have this love and this magnetism that people just enjoy experiencing, that makes people comfortable, that makes people happy. We love seeing people happy. We love being around people that are happy. So be that within yourself, and that will radiate out to the rest of the world. And then emotional depth also means that you make people feel good. That will make you extremely charismatic. When you make people feel good in your presence, when you make people feel good with what you're presenting, whether it's verbally or written, people are just looking forward to what it is that you have to present. People are looking forward to seeing you walk in the room because of how you present. So make people feel good by the things you say, written and verbally, as well as how you present externally. And it can only be authentic and true when you feel good within yourself. You cannot give what you don't have. So dress in a way that makes you feel good, and you will share that energy with the world. Speak to yourself in a way that feels good, and naturally that will become a habit of how you speak to other people. And that's why people will say how you speak is a reflection of yourself, because if you are speaking from a place of self-rejection, you will speak negatively about a lot of things and towards other people, and sometimes you might even project. But if you have self-love, if you're living a life that you love, the way you speak about yourself will reflect in the way you speak to others. You will project positivity onto other people rather than projecting negativity onto other people. And when you're projecting positivity onto people, it makes them feel good because you're speaking life into what they're working on. You're excited for what they are presenting, what you're excited for what they're working on and what they're doing. You're excited to see them. You're just this positive bubble that people want to be around. Positivity is so contagious, and people want to be around that. That positivity draws people in, and it makes you so charismatic when you are. So always remember the saying, people will remember how you make them feel. They will not always remember what you say. So the feeling is what is more magnetic. That feeling of charisma, that warm, soft femininity feeling that you are giving to the world and that you are sharing with the world is what will make you charismatic. And then on the point of having intellectual depth, be curious about what the world has to offer. Be curious about what is existing in the world. Be curious about what opportunities are there for you, and be curious about what people are speaking about. And this means that you're showing interest when somebody's talking to you. You're asking questions, you're engaging in the conversation, you're participating in the conversation, rather than looking bored, looking uninterested. If you don't have time to engage in conversation with people, you're better off letting them know and saying something like, I'm sorry, but I do have to go. I have a meeting. We can continue the conversation later, or just something along those lines. You're better off saying that, and rather than giving bored energy or giving mean energy, that will never work out in your favor. But rather, when you're showing interest in people, it adds to your charisma, because people love to feel heard, people love to feel seen. And when you're able to give people that feeling, you're able to make people feel like they are valued in your presence, they are valued in your life. It makes you so charismatic. It makes them keep coming to you, and it makes them drawn to you. So remember that curiosity adds intellectual depth to you. It adds emotional depth to you. And be curious about opportunities. Don't automatically assume you don't qualify and you're self-eliminating before you even know if you do meet the qualifications, or if you don't miss out on opportunities because you're assuming it'll go a certain way and you find yourself missing out on a moment of a lifetime or an experience of a lifetime. Be curious enough to find out more before making a final decision, and also be curious about growing your mind. Be curious about reading books that feed your mind, that feed your wisdom, and that make you grow on an intellectual level. Be curious about how you can grow in your life, in your career, at your job. Be curious about how you can make the things that are currently existing in your life so much better, so much easier. Be curious about trying other ways, other methods, and just expanding what you know and stepping beyond what is comfortable to you. Do it smartly. If you're going to take a risk, I will always say take smart risks. Take calculated risks, take strategic risks. Don't just do something because you're curious and then you find yourself in a situation that's not helping you. Be sure that you're using wisdom if you're going to step outside your comfort zone, because you don't want to be unsafe and place yourself in a situation that's unsafe, but you also don't want to miss out on the good things that life has to offer because you're being stuck in a comfort zone. So curiosity will add to your intellectual and emotional depth, which will add to your charisma. And then live a life of gratitude. Be grateful for little things and big things. And I know I say this in majority of my videos, but it is so true. If you want to be charismatic, be somebody that's grateful. Be grateful for the little things that people do for you. Be grateful for the things that people give you, both small and big. And that makes you charismatic because you show appreciation for people's efforts. You show appreciation for people's existence in your life. It makes them drawn to you and it makes them want to do more things for you. And this is the same with the universe. If you are just grateful for things and you see the good in situations, even though they're not going the way you want them to go, things will work out. You will live a happier life because you're living from a lens of gratitude. You're living from a lens of still seeing blessings, regardless of how life may be going at the moment. And you will be happier. And with this point, I think of people who nothing seems to bring them down. Regardless of what is happening in their life, they still seem so positive. They still seem so upbeat. And they just seem to bounce back with the same enthusiasm that they had prior to whatever happening. They bounce back with belief, with strength, with faith, and that's charismatic. So try to live your life that way. And when you're looking for something to be grateful about, that is how you don't get stuck in low vibration thoughts or feelings, because you're looking out for the good and you're embracing and you're grateful for the good that is existing. And an example that I can give is, let's say you have your car breaks down and it's going to cost you over $1,000 to get it fixed. You have two options here. You could either sit down, dwell, cry, be upset about the whole situation, be upset about how much you have to spend, be upset about whatever. You could spend time and energy doing that, or you could spend time and energy thinking of the good out of the situation. You could say, okay, I have $1,000 right now. I'm grateful I at least have that money. I'm grateful when I spend this money, I will have a car rather than being stuck with public transport. Be grateful that I know a good mechanic that I trust will take care of the car. So when you start to look for the positive that's existing in the moment, a bad situation, that is how you bounce back. And that is how you become one of those people that just seems like nothing can bring them down, because you are so strong in your beliefs and in your habit of looking for the blessing in a situation and being grateful for that blessing. The next quality of magnetically charismatic women is that they have a calm confidence. They have the courage to take up space. So this means you're not shrinking yourself to fit the room, but rather you're embracing yourself wholly and you're confident in showing up. You're confident in the belief that I belong here and I will be here to add value into this room, into this setting, into people's lives. And when you walk around with that confidence, it is magnetic, because once again, it goes back to the point of trust. People trust you that you know something that's making you confident. People trust you that you have this skill, ability, or quality that makes you feel so confident, and that makes them drawn to you. And an example I can give is, do excuse the extreme example, but let's say you are on the show of Survivor. You will pick somebody that you are confident will help you survive in that wilderness versus going with someone that you don't have confidence in. You are drawn to the confident person, the person that looks like they have some skills on how to survive in nature and they have some life experience, they have experience in whatever. Their confidence is what would draw you to them. And this is the same way in real life. When you are interacting with somebody that gives you this confidence that they know what they're doing, they give you this confidence that I will be successful, they give you this confidence that I believe in myself, you will be drawn to them. So if you're struggling with confidence, work on it and build your confidence, because it will add to your charisma and it will help you in every situation in life. And another example I can give on calm confidence on the feminine side, when you're a woman that is truly confident in your beauty, confident in what you bring into people's lives, and confident in what you have to offer, you are not envious of other women. You are not plotting against other women. So let's say you're at an event or in a room for a blogger's event, let's say. You are not going to be envious, mean, or just carrying a negative energy around a woman that you're threatened by. Rather, you will be inspired and you will admire her beauty and you will walk over to her, you will compliment her, you will exchange beauty tips with her, you will be talking about things that work beauty-wise, things that don't work, and just giving each other new information on where to get this, where to get that. You're not gatekeeping, you're not envious, wishing negativity towards her. And when you walk around with this energy of confidence rather than insecurity, it's magnetic. You draw people to you and you get more positivity back into your life, because that is what you are giving and putting out there. So always remember that a calm confidence is not loud either. When you are confident, you're not being loud to prove it. You don't feel the need to perform to prove it, but rather you let your energy speak. You let the things in your life speak. You let your wealth speak. You let your success speak. And those things are things that you don't even have to brag about, because they're speaking for you. They're speaking on your behalf. You have this confidence that regardless of where I am, I will succeed. I will come out on top. You have this confidence of regardless of how life goes and whatever life brings to me, I will be in flow and I will see the blessing in the situation and I will be grateful for the new opportunity that is coming. That is a much better confidence to exude, and it's the calm confidence that you exude rather than sitting in nervous energy because you're worried of how life will go. You're nervous because you don't believe in yourself to bounce back or to be successful, or you're carrying insecurities of whatever kind. That negative energy radiates, and people are not drawn to that negative energy. People run away from that type of negative energy. So be sure that you're checking in on yourself, checking in that whatever you're experiencing is not taking you out of your divine femininity energy, and checking in with yourself that you're doing things to keep you grounded, doing things to keep you calm, doing things to keep you confident. If it means taking a course, if it means learning something new, if it means talking to somebody so you can get new ideas. So do those things so that you can remain confident, you can remain grounded in that confidence, because that is a quality that makes you charismatic. And then on the point of confidence, no more self-rejecting, no more self-hate. These energies are things that we can sense, and it's very uncomfortable for the people that love you. And the people that love you do not want to see you in self-hate, self-rejection, struggling with embracing and accepting yourself. We don't enjoy seeing that because we love you, and the people who love you want to see you succeed. The people who love you want to see you covered in self-love from yourself and covered in love from others. They want to see you happy. They want to see you living your best life. They want to see you being the best version of yourself. So if you're struggling with self-rejecting or self-hate in some form, be sure that you take time to work on it, because it works against your charisma and it pushes people away. The only people who are happy to see you in self-hate or self-rejection are the people who are benefiting from you, and those people don't love you. So be sure that you're constantly working on yourself. You're doing inner work. You are eliminating the things or the people that bring out insecurity in you. You're eliminating the things that make you envious and eliminating the things that put you in a negative energy or mindset, because those things will not add to your charisma, and we are not doing that anymore. We are accepting ourselves fully, and as we spoke of, this means embracing and accepting and celebrating what makes us unique. We are accepting the good, the bad, the ugly about us, and those things that we want to change about ourselves. We are doing it from a place of love rather than a place of hate. And an example that I can give is, let's say that you're not too happy with your weight. You're not going to say things like, I hate my body, I hate my weight. You're not coming from a place of hate or self-rejection. Rather, you're going to say, I love my body so much, I want to get to this weight. I love my body so much, I will start working out. I love my body so much, I will eat healthier so that I can get to this weight, so that my body is healthier, so that I feel good about myself. You are not going to speak hate into yourself. You are going to speak love. And whatever you do, you will do it from a place of love within yourself, and people will receive that energy, and that energy will make you charismatic. And the most important thing about self-acceptance is that people will not be able to use the things that you are currently not liking about yourself against you. So when somebody says something that could be triggering to you, rather than agreeing with that negative statement and having it bring you into a state of depression, you're going to say, this is a projection from this person. This person is projecting their self-hate towards me, or this person is projecting their envy or insecurity towards me. And an example I can give is on the point about weight, the example about weight. If somebody mentions something negative about your weight, you know that they have an insecurity. They see some beauty in you that is making them insecure, and they want to keep you down. So rather than letting them use your insecurities against you, you're going, okay, yeah, I weigh whatever, but I still love my body regardless, and you will not make me feel bad about what I weigh today, because I'm working on being healthier. I am working on being the version that I want. I am working on transforming myself into the woman that I love. So the most important thing that I wanted to mention about stopping self-rejection and self-hate is that you take away people's power to use those things against you. And that is your power. That is your feminine power. And that will make you charismatic when you are fully in power about yourself, your body, your mind, your energy, your emotions. People cannot pull you out of character. People cannot pull you out of your good feelings, your good vibes, because you are in control of yourself and you do not give that power to anybody else. That will make you so charismatic because it will be so inspiring and motivational to people that want to feel the same way about themselves. And those people who are inspired and motivated by you will be drawn to you. And those are your people because they admire you and you want to be around those type of people. And then on the point of confidence, be mysterious. Mystery draws people in because they are curious about what's next. They are craving more of you. They are craving to hear more, to know more, to see more. So have an air of mystery about you because it draws people in and keeps them wanting more of you. So this means don't overshare. Don't be so quick to give all the information. Hold some back, withdraw some details, and that will make people look forward to seeing you the next time because they know that there's more coming. They are looking forward to continuing where you left off. And it just leaves room for more excitement. It leaves room for curiosity. It leaves room for mystery because people have not 100% figured you out. They cannot say, I know her so well, she's so predictable, but they're excited to see what's next. They are looking forward to seeing you because You are constantly changing. You have this whole bag of new things to bring up, new things to talk about, new experiences to share. And it just leaves people excited to see and to hear what's next about you. So don't ever underestimate the power of mystery. This is spoken a lot in Femininity, and it's for a reason, because it works and it is actually very true. And there are so many benefits to being mysterious. So just enjoy how this mysterious side of you is magnetically drawing people to you. And then the final point that we will discuss in this video is to have an external allure. And this means the way you present externally, present in a way that is so magnetic and captivating that people want to be around you. People are saying, look at how she presents. It's so elegant. It's so classy. It looks so good. We just want to be around that. We want a piece of that. We want to learn how to do that. And this means you're working on your makeup. You look good. If you're someone who enjoys wearing makeup, you look good in your makeup. The makeup is flawless. It fits your aesthetic. It fits the occasion. It's appropriate for the time of day, and people are just taken back by how beautiful you look in your makeup, and they're just admiring it, staring at you, and that will make you magnetic. Same with your clothes. You're wearing clothes that fit you. You're wearing clothes that are glamorous, clothes that make you look expensive even though they're not expensive. You just know how to put an outfit together and it makes you look good. You have this expensive presence because of what you're wearing, your makeup being done, your hair being done. And again, you're wearing something that's appropriate for the occasion, that's fitting for where you're going, it's fitting for the event, and you're presenting yourself with confidence in this outfit because you look good, you know you look good, and you feel good. And because you're radiating all these good vibes, people are receiving that and they're being drawn to you because of those good vibes, based on how you are presenting externally. And with external presentation, this means take care of the details, and adding details like adding curls in your hair if your hair is straight, or if you typically have curly hair, straightening your hair for the event and just showing up in a different way, doing a different hairstyle, pinning it up, just doing something different that will make people notice that you took the effort to style your hair for the day or for the event. Details like being bold. Let's say you wear a bold red lip and you typically don't. That will look so good and that'll take people back. And just being bold in what you're wearing and how you're presenting. And one detail that I love is I love to watch old Hollywood movies, and their clothes are always glittery and shimmery, but I personally don't like wearing clothes that are too shimmery, especially in the daytime. So what I'll do is I'll wear glitter on my skin. That way I am glowing, like I have that extra glow when I'm in the sun, or if I'm inside a building, the lights are just shining on my skin and I'm looking extra glowy, just glittery. And it's just a detail that people are saying, what is it? But I know exactly what it is. It's glitter. So it's just little details like that that makes people just look and captivates people. And also being magnetically charismatic externally also means having a signature scent. You smell good, you smell clean, you just smell expensive, and you have a signature scent that when people smell it, they're reminded of you. That is how people think of you when you walk away and your scent lingers. They are still thinking about you. You are still in the room even after you left. When people smell this perfume on another person, they automatically think about you because that's your signature scent. And that's one way of being charismatic on the external end of things. And finally, always remember to wear your smile. It does not matter how you present externally. If you're looking mean, unhappy, irritated, those things will take away. Smile and look like you're happy to be where you are. Look like you're happy to see the people that are in the room. You're excited to be at this event. You're grateful that you got invited. Your smile is so captivating. It is so beautiful. And your smile naturally lifts people up. If you want to make people feel good, smile at them and you will see how their spirit and their energy is automatically lifted. And I created a video on the importance of smiling and how powerful your smile is. So be sure to watch that after this video. But don't underestimate the power of your smile. Embrace your smile and share your smile with the world. It makes you captivating. It draws people in. It shows that you are open. It shows that you are warm. It gives a softness that only a smile can give. And when people are receiving that, they will be drawn to you and it will naturally make you charismatic. So I hope you enjoyed the tips that we spoke about in this video. And as a reminder, charisma is not about performing. It is about owning your space, speaking with love from the heart, living with curiosity and bold excitement, and leading with feminine charm. People will always naturally lean in when you embody these qualities. Charisma is about being magnetic without trying. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I love spending time with you, speaking about femininity and becoming the best versions of ourselves through these videos, through these discussions. And as always, leave your comments below. I would love to read your opinions, to hear your contributions, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. Thank you again for watching my video. I wanted to say, take a moment to check out my online jewelry store, Pretty Dainty. It is faith-based jewelry that is both elegant and beautiful, and when you wear it, it is a reminder of God's love and His promises for us and His plans for our lives. I will link the website below, and happy shopping. With lots of love, Nia.